What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Taste Culture. We're super excited.
Oh, yeah.
We made all the things again. We've got a main dish, we got some dessert, some dope sides. It's all really easy, and you know I stay with the cheat codes, so I'm giving them to you.
Yes, sir.
What did we make first, Ray?
We got chimichurri chicken. We got some plantanos.
Yes, baby.
We've got some peach pie.
Or cobbler, whichever you choose to call it. Up to you.
We've got some peppers.
Brioche buns to make our sandwiches. So just stay tuned. We're gonna walk you through this whole process. It's super simple.
Whoa.
Did I forget? I forgot the star
You
of the show.
The star. Come on, my
The chimichurri. How could I do that? This is what makes this so bomb. This is something that you can make a big batch of, save it. You can even freeze it and have it forever, pretty much, up to 3 months. But this is the star. You can put this on your chicken, on your french fries, on grilled meat, steak, chicken, fish, anything you want. So this is really the star of the show. It's going on my
sandwich and it's going on my fries, so don't hate the player, hate the meal.
Welcome back to another episode, baby.
You dig?
So let's talk about the star of the show, the chimichurri. In this basket is everything that we need for our chimichurri sauce, and it's super simple. We have some parsley, 1 bushel, as well as 1 bushel of cilantro, a few sprigs of oregano, and we like things to have a little kick, so I have 1 chili. This is an Anaheim. You can use a hatch as well, or you can omit this if you don't want any additional spice. So this is our base. You can omit the cilantro if you have an allergy. And then we have some additional ingredients, a Fresno chili or a red chili, as well as some shallots. If you don't have shallots, you can use a red onion. And some dry seasonings, oregano and dried parsley, some red chili flakes, and peppercorns we're gonna crush. And then I have garlic. I'm gonna use 4 to 5 cloves of the garlic along with some citrus. This is really gonna brighten the dish up. You can use lemon or lime, just a half, and then some red wine vinegar. This, you probably need about 2 tablespoons in total, and that along with some salt, of course. We'll salt everything to taste at the end, but this is everything you need for your chimichurri. But you know I have a cheat code for you. So you can either take all of your ingredients and put them in the blender and you'll get this consistency. Still tastes great, but authentic chimichurri has that fresh chopped ingredients. So I take half of mine and put it in the blender along with some red wine vinegar, so the parsley, cilantro, garlic, the hatch chili, and a little bit of olive oil, and I get what you see in the bowl. Then I'm going to take those fresh ingredients and combine everything together so I can have a little bit more of that authentic chimichurri without getting a cramp in my hand from chopping 2 bushels of fresh herbs and a whole shallot. I also wanted to show you a really quick trick. So I have my parsley and cilantro here, some oregano. Here's the trick. When you are taking your leaves off the sprig, if you hold it upright and pinch your fingers and go down the stem, all of your leaves will be off. And then you can just roughly chop that or tear that apart and you can throw the stem away. That's my little trick to you guys. Hopefully that helps. I'm just going to break this up really quickly and then we'll work to combine our parsley, cilantro, the oregano, and the red onion along with that Fresno chili or the red chili and the garlic. So we're just going to combine this all together. Remember, I have garlic here and I also have some that we blended with this mix here. So you'll get a nice flavorful taste. You can blend all the garlic if you don't like to have garlic chunks. You can make it even spicier by adding more chilies, or you can make it less oniony by putting less shallot. This is all about what you like, so make this to your preference. I'm gonna combine my 2 mixes here, and this is looking a little bit thick to me, so let's add in some of the extra virgin olive oil. You just want to make sure you have a little bit of a looser texture than this. This is a little too much. So we're going to add a little bit more of that extra virgin olive oil, probably about 2 more tablespoons of it to just kind of thin it out, and we'll mix that back up. Like I was saying before, with this chimichurri, it's all about kind of your flavor palette, what you're looking for. If you like things to be spicier, heck, add more chilies, add more either red chili flakes or red Fresno chili. Completely up to you. You want more onion, do it. More garlic, I love it. It's completely up to you. This is looking a little bit better. I think I'm gonna add a little bit more of the extra virgin olive oil just to loosen it up a little bit more, and then we'll just go in and salt it and add a few more dry ingredients, and then it'll be ready to serve. So we just want to make sure everything is combined here. This is looking really good. You see how fresh and bright this looks? This is something that you can freeze, put it in an ice tray or in a jar. And here's the seasoning. So we are going to take the oregano and parsley along with those red chili flakes and drop all of this in here. This just, again, adds a little bit more of that. It packs a bigger punch when you combine the fresh herbs with a little bit of the dry herbs. So we're just going to add this in, and then I'm going to crush up those fresh peppercorns and add my black pepper in here. In just one moment, let's combine everything. Perfect. Let's do a pinch of salt. So this is the only time I've added my salt. So I know that it's not too salty. And again, have a few chips on hand so you can just taste it as you go along. Let's add in a little bit of garlic powder, and then we're going to add in a little of onion powder. Just mix that all up. This is one of my favorite things to make because it sets any dish off, any protein. And let's add just a little bit of pepper, any protein. So whether you have fish, chicken, steak, vegetables, a salad, whatever it is, it's gonna taste amazing, I'm telling you. We're gonna lastly add some of our lime juice. You only need a half a lime. This is gonna really brighten it up, and it also helps keep it that bright, pretty green color that we're looking, keeping it fresh, which is perfect. And we're just gonna pop that in a jar. Now in your fridge, this can last about 2 weeks. And if you put it in the freezer, it typically can last 2 to 3 months, depending on how airtight it is. So again, this is something you can make a big batch of and save half of it and defrost it when you're ready. I love putting it in an ice cube tray so I can just pop out a few when I need them. So that's my little tips and tricks for you, cheat codes. You know I have them for you. Passing it on over to Ray so he can show you that delicious chicken.
All right, guys. So here I have some chicken that has been marinated with about a half a cup of coconut milk and about a half a cup of mojo marinade. And I got some seasonings here to my right. I'm going to start with the oregano and cumin. I have here some garlic powder and some onion powder. And then I also have some black pepper and some paprika. All right, well, so that's pretty much it as far as seasonings go. Again, that was about a half a cup of coconut milk and about a half a cup of the mojo marinade in here, along with all the seasonings. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt just so we have some flavor. And then we're gonna bake this at about 350. I'm gonna pop this in right here. And we're gonna leave this for about 2 hours. Now here I got some peppers. I got some Anaheim peppers. I got some red bell peppers, green bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, and some onions. I'm just gonna cover this and steam that for about 2 hours as well. And then quick tip, we're going to use this gravy and broth marinade to keep the chicken juicy, but as we pop this out, like right before we shred it, we're going to drain that juice and just leave the dry chicken. All right, so no fancy tools here, a fork and some tongs, and get in there, shred it up. Keep it basic, you know what I mean? Nothing glamorous about this here. I'm just in here digging in and shredding. All right, now be super generous with this because your whole party will love you. All right, so I'm just gonna take about 2 tablespoons here, and I'm just gonna mix this on in, and we're all done. Oh yes, I'm hungry again just looking at it. But yes. This is what you need to do. Mix it all in. Nothing fancy. Now I'm gonna just give it on to Ashley, and she's gonna tell you how to fry up some plantains.
Fried plantains, my fave. So I wanted to start by saying, when you're picking out your plantains, it's super easy. You want to go for the ones that are either yellow or yellow with brown spots. Then you're just going to make a slit and take off the peel and cut them into threes like I just did. Then those threes, you want to just split those down the middle so you have a flat side. And we're going to, once all of those are chopped and cut, we're going to take those over to some coconut oil that we already have heated up in our pan. And this is something that's super simple, and it's a side dish that is going to give you a little bit of sweetness, but not as sweet as like a banana would be. So this is just a good, one of our favorite sides actually, and it's really easy to make. This is actually 4 plantains right here. You can do this even quicker with 2. We're gonna fry these up in batches, and the beautiful thing about this is it doesn't have to be pretty or perfect for it to be good. So now that we have all of these sliced up, oh, here's one left. Let's slice this, and then once we have these done, we'll take them over to my cast iron skillet, which has been heating up with enough coconut oil to just cover the bottom of the pan. Then we're gonna put these in flat side down, and typically it takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes for these to brown up. As you can see, my oil is nice and hot, but it's not smoking or burning. I'm getting that beautiful sizzle, and I'm gonna crowd my pan actually. This is something where we're not gonna, once we get them situated in the pan, we're not gonna move them around because we want that really nice caramelization on the bottom of each plantain. Some are gonna be a little darker than others, and that's totally fine. Everyone likes them a different consistency, so having each one maybe a little crispier or a little more well done is totally fine. So we're just gonna get these in here, and again, they're going to stay flat side down for about 2 minutes roughly, and the heat is on like medium high. Once they're nice and golden brown on the bottom, we're just gonna flip those over really quickly and fry them up on the other side. And again, we're frying these in batches, so then I will repeat this until all of our plantains are done, and that's it. Pie time, guys. So this is a really, really easy dessert. It's a cobbler, a peach pie. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm going to call it delicious. Here I have some peaches. You can use fresh. It's just going to be a little more work. You have to boil them and skin them, or you can use a frozen bag of peaches. Here I'm actually using canned, which I rarely do, but that's all the grocery store had. I made sure that there were no sugar added, and I just sliced them a little bit thinner. I'm going to take a little bit of my kosher salt and put this in here, and then I have about 1/3 cup of brown sugar and 1/3 cup white sugar. I'm going to add this in. I don't want this to be overly sweet. My peaches are already going to be sweet. I don't need to add a bunch of sugar, but if you have a serious sweet tooth, you could add a little bit more. I'm gonna drop both of my sugars into my peaches and just mix those up, make sure everything is coated. I'm trying not to break them up too much because I want them to be whole, not chunks. And then from there, we are going to add in flour. So here's my little trick to you. You know I always have a trick. You see all this syrup? We do not want this going into our pie. So by adding a little bit of this flour, it's going to create almost like a roux inside the pie, or like a thickening agent. So it's not as soupy or syrupy, because that's going to soak into your crust and cause it to be soggy. So I'm just going to mix this up. This is probably about 1 tablespoon that I already put in here, and it's still looking a little bit thin. So let's just add a little bit more flour in here, I'm thinking, and thicken it up a little bit more. And then we'll mix that all together again, being gentle not to break up my peaches. And once those are all combined, you can see the syrup is a little bit thicker. Of course, as it cooks, it'll get even thicker. And then we have our crust. This is just regular store-bought crust. This is why it's easy. I don't even have a pie pan. I'm not someone who believes a pie needs to be pretty and perfect for it to be good. So I just took a buttered pan, put my first crust down, and then I'm going to take a slotted spoon and strain this extra juice out of my filling. I want to limit as much as possible of that extra juice going into my pie as I possibly can control. So I'm just gonna fill this up completely, trying to keep as much of my filling in the center of my pie and away from the edges of my crust. And then I'm gonna take the second pie crust that comes in the box when you buy it from the store, and I'm going to use that as my lid and just place that over the top. Now again, I love galettes. I love freeform pies. This does not have to be pretty and perfect, but I do want to make sure that I'm pushing the filling kind of towards the middle and making sure the edges are meeting completely. So I'm just going to work this all the way around. Another thing is you want to be careful. You don't want to touch your dough too much. You don't want it to warm up too much. So I'm trying not to keep putting my hands over all of the crust, as you can see. Now I'm just going to squeeze everything, my filling, back to the middle of the pie and get a really good lid. And I'm just going to close this. Now you can either do like a scallop and make it pretty, or you can just roll it over like I'm doing. I just want to make sure I close my lid. If you wanted to be extra fancy, you could take that lid, that second pie crust, and cut it into strips and do a lattice. But trust me, no matter how you do this, people are going to eat it up. It's so simple. This whole process probably took me 15 minutes from start to popping it in the oven. Once I have my crust all the way around rolled nice and tight, I'm gonna make sure I don't have any juice spilling out of the middle. Then I'm gonna take a few slits with my knife and just go in here and create a few of these little slits. This is going to help to let some of the steam out of my pie so it bakes properly. So this is something that can just be done in a random pattern, or you can make it really nice and pretty. You can do bigger cuts and slices. It really doesn't matter. Again, it's all about your preference here. Once I have that completely done, I am just going to do a quick melted butter run on top of this pie crust. Because it's going to make it extra buttery and flaky, it's also going to help it get a little bit golden brown. Some people would do an egg wash here. You can totally do that. That's going to give it a deeper brown color, more of a golden brown color. Completely up to you. It's not necessary. I do find a little bit of butter does the trick before it goes in the oven and right when it comes out. So I'm just going to keep rubbing this melted butter all over the top of my pie crust here, and then we'll pop it in the oven the oven's at about 400 for about 20 to 30 minutes. So just check it. You can see we have a little bit of that juice coming out the sides, but other than that, it looks perfect, golden brown and delicious.
All right, that's it. That's all.
You can do it. I believe in you. It's easy.
Very easy. Yeah, we showed you everything. We showed you all the secrets, how to get the cheat code to the fantastic, delectable, all that.
Baby.
Chimichurri. We showed you the cheat code to the peach cobbler,
yes.
Peach pie, whatever you want to call it. And you know, the chicken's pretty simple. I mean, bake it, rip it, add some of the chimichurri, bang.
Bang,
fries,
bang.
You know.
This is a bag of fries. It ain't that serious. But look. It's easy, and we believe that you can do it. Having good food is really simple. It's just about the time that you take to make it. Put on some good music. Put on that playlist you
R&B.
like. A little bit of R&B love, and go ahead and get to it. That's it.
Oh my dude, we hooked y'all up. We showed you all the cheat codes. So hey, it's time for y'all to bounce.
It's time for me to eat. We got a house full of people. We ready to eat. We want them to try it. It's hella bomb. Again, it was super easy. Just follow the instructions. Everything step by step will be in the description of this video right here. So if you have any questions, like I said before, you can always hit up Ray's DMs. He's very happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Like, share, care, work to Drake, my guy.
All right, we gonna get to it. Bye.
Peace.
Little cave right here. A little cave right here.
Can we get a bite for the camera real quick?
Oh yeah.
What we got?
Need more light? You good?
Hold on.
Camera go down.
Taste tester. Oh, that's the face we needed. That's the face we was looking for. Okay, Lex.
Oh.
He said, hold on.
So, let's see.
The French fry.
Bro.
He said,
Okay.
Oh! Alright, my turn.
Your turn.
Oh, look at that goodness right there, though. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, she's not gonna play around. Oh, that's a real bite. That's what I'm talking about.
It's clear.
That's really so good.
That dip, boy.
That dip, boy.
All right.
That dip, boy. Yes, sir.
I am Miss Chef.
Oh, that shit go crazy. This shit go crazy. You tripping, Bray. I'm tripping.
You tripping. Mouthful of food. You tripping.
So we gonna get a bite, Miss Tay?
Yeah. Let me get my plate together. Ray's like, I'm trying to eat. That's why I'm rushing.
Come on, baby.
Ow.
No.
Damn.
12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
All right, Chef. What we thinking? Where we at with it?
Cut the camera so I can eat.